another episode of Change Starts With You. I'm Jen Williamson, Director of Impact here at United Way Emerald Coast, and I am here today with the wonderful and lovely Haley Davenport. She is going to be talking to us today about our Reading Pals and Retire United program we have here at United Way Emerald Coast. Haley, we're doing it. It's our
We're
first
doing it.
podcast. Someone gave me a mic. Someone gave you a mic.
Here we go.
Here we go. Let's jump on in. Are you ready for it?
I think
Let's
so.
do it. I told you I was going to insert a Taylor reference, and I did. So
Did you?
I did. I said it. Okay. So, Haley, you are a development manager here at United Way, and you do so much around the office. I know you're always busy. I always see you running in and out. You're going to several meetings, you're going to several events, you're doing so many things. Can you tell us a little bit about your role as development manager?
Yes. So, as development manager, I support Deborah Lawson. She is our director of development.
Shout out to Deb.
Shout out to Deb. I help out with workplace campaigns. I help out with corporate sponsorships and different things related to corporate and business related
Impacts across.
impacts. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you're underselling it because you do so much. I always see you in and out of the office, running around, doing a million things. And I wanted to talk about a couple of those things because we're not going to be able to fit in all of the things that you do here at United Way Emerald Coast. But two of the biggest programs you lead are Reading Pals and Retire United. How did you first get involved with those programs?
So I've been with United Way just at 2 years. When I started, I was the office coordinator, and then I moved into the RSVP role, which stands for Retired and Senior Volunteer Program. We now call that Retire United. And then just a couple of months ago, Reading Pals fell into my lap, and now I get to head up Reading Pals as well.
Ooh, Reading Pals is exactly where I wanted to jump to. It's such a powerful program. Could you tell me a little bit about Reading Pals?
So, Reading Pals, it's been going on about 15 years in the state. At United Way Emerald Coast, we've had it for 8 years. This will be our 8th year. It's a program ran by the Children's Movement of Florida. It's specific only to Florida, so the rest of the United States does not have Reading Pals. So individuals who are part of the program are very special. We think that it's a special program. The goal of Reading Pals is to help the literacy skills of children VPK all the way up to third grade.
Right.
At United Way Emerald Coast, we focus on VPK and kindergarten students. In Okaloosa and Walton counties, the literacy rate, children are not ready for kindergarten as far as literacy goes. 41% of those kids are not ready. So our goal is to help improve those literacy skills and help those children progress in their reading and their word comprehension as they move up in their educational years. It's been shown that if they are behind by third grade in their literacy skills, that they're behind for the rest of their educational career. So reading is really the foundation of everything. So
Truly.
once you move out of school, you have to know how to read. So we try to get it while they're early in those 4 to 6 year ranges because that's where they're the most susceptible to learning.
That's the age where they're like learning and growing and they're molding who they are. And it's so important to get
Yeah.
them at such an early age. And I think that's really speaks to the Reading Pals program. What you're doing is amazing. What we're able to do at United
Mhm.
Way Emerald Coast is amazing. And
Mhm.
pairing up volunteers with some of our children in our schools around the local Okaloosa Walton counties has been just incredible.
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of jump into that and switch gears. So, with literacy being such an important piece, what is a book from your childhood that you would recommend to a reading pal or you would want to read to a reading pal if you could read to a reading pal today?
So my favorite book growing up was If You Give a Pig a Pancake.
Love it.
It was such
That's
a
a
good
deep
book.
cut. I thought you were going to say The Very Hungry Caterpillar or something like that. But
No, no, no.
take a
If
cookie.
You Give a Pig a Pancake. Um, it was my favorite. It still probably is my favorite. With
Right.
the little pig, he starts with one thing and then he continues. That thing reminds him to do something else and then to do something else. And he was just a busy little pig. So I my parents always told me that I was a busy kid, and I still see that in myself today. I'll be doing something, and then that reminds me to do something else, and I'll forget to do the thing I was doing.
Of course, that we
So,
all do.
yeah. So, and then eventually you come back around to that first thing you were doing, and it is just a full circle. But I think even though it was such a fun book, and it still is a fun book, I think it was validation to me like, hey, it's okay that you're busy and you're doing all these things because you're just moving from one thing to another and you're getting things done along the way.
I think that it's funny that you, from a young age, were able to identify so strongly with something that you read in a book, and I think that that just really speaks to the power of reading.
I think it does.
I really do. I know we all have, like, our favorite books growing up, and so some of those we still hold true today.
Yep.
Mine would probably be The Very Hungry Caterpillar, not So you told us a little bit about Reading Pals. How did you get involved in Reading Pals?
So I got involved in Reading Pals. I was interested in volunteering last year,
Right.
but my plate got very full last year. So I now have the opportunity to be the Reading Pals coordinator. That was transitioned over to me. So that's how I'm involved with it now. We have several volunteers and several different sites within our area that are part of the Reading Pals program. So we are always looking for volunteers who are
Oh, yeah.
interested in being part of the
You
program.
heard that. We're always looking for volunteers. What is one moment or a couple of moments that you can think back on with your time in the Reading Pals program that you thought, wow, this is why I do what I do?
hmm So a couple of months ago, we were recording I guess they were promo videos.
Yeah.
One of our reading pals, him and his wife came in and I don't get to see them very often. And when I do see them, it's kind of hard to tell if they're enjoying volunteering. But during the video, just seeing them light up as they were talking about their reading
Um,
pals, because you're with that kid from the beginning of the school year all the way through the end of the school year. And these two volunteers he has two kids, and I think she has 8 kids that she volunteers.
wow.
So they were with those same kids through the whole school year. And just seeing them light up when they talked about their kids and seeing the progression from the kids not really knowing how to read
Mhm.
to being able to read and write their names. Um, what his wife, she 4 of her students couldn't speak English,
Oh.
and that's why they were in the Reading Pals program,
Mhm.
and towards the end of the year, they were able to speak and they could read, and
Aw.
they were kindergarten
That's
students.
amazing.
So, it was
That is truly
encouraging.
amazing.
It is. It was encouraging to see how their lives changed from helping out their students.
Well, we spoke about volunteers. If someone wanted to become a Reading Pals volunteer, where would you encourage them to start?
Just visit our website.
Okay.
You can visit united-way.org,
It's a mouth.
and it is. And there's an application that you can fill out saying that you're interested in Reading Pals, and once you fill out that application, I get your information, and then I can tell you the next steps of being a Reading Pal.
Perfect. Well, now that we've talked about Reading Pals, I want to switch gears to your other program, Retire United. I want to jump into that. Tell me about Retire United.
So, Retire United used to be called RSVP, like I mentioned earlier. It stood for Retired Senior Volunteer Program. It's an AmeriCorps funded program. This program is geared towards our 55 and better community. So, the goal of this program is to get our individuals connected,
Mhm.
involved, and giving back to our community.
So one of my favorite phrases is the 55 and better. And once I heard that for the first time, I was like, I'm all in.
I love it.
So some people think that retirement is about slowing down, but clearly our 55 and better volunteers are not slowing down. They're
Not
doing
at all.
quite the opposite. What's the energy like when you're connecting with them?
They love volunteering. You sometimes we'll have ask or needs for volunteerism. So we send out an email to our Retire United volunteers and we get so many responses back. Another thing that we do is take volunteer projects to Bob Hope Village or the Air Force Enlisted Village,
Yes.
and we bring kit builds to them. So we call them snack packs. So we take Ziploc bags and a breakfast item, a lunch item, and a few snack items just to make sure that students within our community have those essential foods.
Yeah.
And our Bob Hope Village residents see it as a race, and it's so funny to see how fast they pack those snacks. They help me unload things at the very beginning and get things set up, and then they pack the bags, and then they clean up, and the whole kit build's supposed to take like an hour, hour and a half,
Right.
but they do it within probably 30 minutes because they're so fast. But at the end, they always ask me, "Is there more that we can do?"
So they're always looking for more work to do.
They
And
are.
also, tell me, aren't some of the Retire United volunteers also Reading Pal
They are.
volunteers?
Yeah.
Wow.
A large portion of our reading pals are Retire United. Some of them have one student, which is a 30-minute a week commitment.
Okay.
And some of them have 8 students, like I mentioned earlier. So that's, what is that? I'm not doing the math.
Don't do the
But
math. Do not ask me
she
to
has
do the
8
math either.
students that she works with a week.
You talked about how the Bob Hope Village volunteers get super excited when you come in to do a kit build. Tell me about that human connection piece. What makes it so important and why it's such a driving force behind both Reading Pals and Retire United? Why do you think that is?
I think it's just in our nature. I think
Mm,
from the time you're little, you want to associate with your parents. And as you get a little older, you want to associate with the kids and friends around you. And then as adults, and even into the retirement age, it's so easy to isolate yourself. But whenever you're around other people, you just come to life.
right. That social connected piece truly is a piece of volunteerism that I don't think that we touch on quite often.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think it is an important aspect in everything that we do through volunteerism and really is an important piece of it.
Hmm.
I think that we do a lot of the giving back, but we're not necessarily talking about that social connectedness
Right.
piece and how it's giving back to ourselves as well. For someone listening who's never volunteered before, what is a step that they could take today to volunteer?
Just get connected with United Way. We have
Yeah.
over 40 different nonprofits that we work with in the
Mhm.
community in Okaloosa and Walton counties. And then we have all of our different initiatives like Reading Pals and Retire United.
Mhm.
So we have all of these different volunteer opportunities anywhere from 30 minutes a week to as often as you want to volunteer.
Right. Getting connected with us on
Hmm.
the social media pages or our
Yeah.
website is a really good place to start. That's how I learned about what we do. So
Yeah.
I think that's a good place that you recommended. What is one thing that you hope people listening today will walk away with about Reading Pals or Retire United or both?
I think just that giving back, it doesn't require a whole lot. And it makes such an impact on the people that you help and
Right.
also yourself. So Reading Pals is a 30-minute a week commitment, but you are committing to that student for the duration of the year. And while it might just be a little tiny spot in your week,
Hmm.
it has a huge impact on those kids. They go back to their teachers and the teachers hear all about it. And then you go home and you're excited to see your kid the next week because that kid is changing your life, even though it's such a short commitment.
Really is a truly amazing program.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for sitting down with me today and talking to me about Reading Pals and Retire United.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you giving me your time. If you are interested in learning more about becoming a Reading Pal or a Retire United volunteer or just a volunteer in general, go to our website at united-way.org. Is that right?
That's right. That's
All
our
right. I
website.
said it right. We got it. And join us next time on Change Starts With You.